Everything that you know about morning routines is wrong, wrong, wrong. So listen, if you get up in the morning and do yoga, meditation, journaling, motivational videos, interpretive dance, all before you actually get to work, you're doing it the wrong way. So we are going to totally shift your mind around what to do in the morning, and we're going to start with a secret from a drunk old farmer. Hey, my name's Craig Ballantyne, and today I want to share with you a 21-day morning challenge that you're going to take to totally level up your morning. And when you get into this, you will totally dominate your days, both in business and in life. You will have more success, you will have less stress, and you will kick anxiety to the curb. I know because back when I was 30 years old, running my first six-figure business, I had 2 anxiety attacks that sent me to the emergency room. And it was because I didn't have my morning in place. I had bad habits. There was a whole bunch of stuff going wrong. And it wasn't until I fixed the morning, I put more structure in the morning that gave me true freedom in life. And it was all thanks to my father. Now, my father, I loved him. He's passed on for about 10 years now. He had his own flaws. He drank too much. But the one thing that he passed on to me, the one thing that this drunk old farmer has been able to share with the world that has changed the lives of over 55,000 entrepreneurs who have used my books and my programs to shift their mornings is this. The number one secret to dominating your morning is not doing the YouTube motivational videos. It's not joining the 5 a.m. club. My father never got up that early and he was successful despite his flaws. No, it is not doing those things. It is not doing all of that, because I call all of those things, when you have that crazy 90-minute hoping for a miracle morning routine, that is a perverse form of procrastination, right? You're just doing all of those things because you don't want to do the work. But my father taught me that if you get up in the morning and do the hardest work first, then you will have won the day. And there's an old saying from Mark Twain. He said, if your job is to eat a frog, best thing to do is eat that frog first thing in the morning. And if your job is to eat 2 frogs, best thing to do is eat the biggest frog first. Now, I'm sure he didn't say it that way, but it sounded kind of funny. And what he meant was that in the morning, you got to get up and work on the hardest thing in your business. You don't literally have to eat a frog. But what you have to do is do the hardest thing in the morning. Because if you try and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to find time to do it later, or I'll do that this afternoon or whatever, it's not going to happen. You know it, I know it, we all know it. It's not happening. And here's the thing. It's actually research proven. So it's not just a drunk old farmer or ranting guy on YouTube telling you to do your work first thing in the morning. No, instead, it is research proven. So there's a book by Daniel Pink. He wrote When, the Scientifically Perfect Time to Do Everything. And he talks about how we have 3 things in the morning that we don't have in the afternoon. And it's the reason why you know that you have to write that book chapter, or write that sales letter, or do those videos, or prepare for that meeting, or finish a PowerPoint. You know that you have to do it. And you know that you should do it in the morning. But you say, I'm going to try and find time in the afternoon. Well, here's the thing. In the afternoon, you can't find time for it, but most of all, you don't have this one thing that Daniel Pink said. It's discipline, willpower, and intention. What he said, and from the science, is that in the morning we have the greatest discipline, willpower, and intention. So you've got to get a DWI first thing in the morning. I know that sounds horrible. You don't want a DWI at any time of the day. But he says you have discipline, willpower, and intention first thing in the morning. And over the day, it goes down into a trough. So if you feel in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, I'm tired, I need a coffee, I got to go on YouTube, I got to get motivated, or let me just check my social media, right? That's going to kill you, because in the afternoon, you don't have discipline, you don't have willpower, you don't have intention, and you don't have the energy and commitment that you do in the morning. And so that's the science that proves Mark Twain was right, that a ranting Canadian guy on YouTube is right, and that my father, a wonderful beer drinking father that he was also right. And that lesson that he passed on to me, surprisingly, when I started following it, it helped me reduce my anxiety. It was one of those things where now I wasn't chasing the world all day long. I wasn't waking up and checking my email and goofing around and then all of a sudden 10 o'clock trying to get down to work and feeling like I'd fallen behind. And that, just compounded over time into the anxiety that I suffered. And I know that you're probably feeling a little stressful too. You probably have those days where it's like activity, 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 but no accomplishment. And by 5 o'clock at night, you're saying, what happened to the day? I didn't get that thing done. And you didn't eat that frog. So if you learn nothing else from me in the rest of this video, and you will, trust me, but if you learn nothing else in the rest of this video, it is to wake up in the morning and go to work on your number one priority. Now, here's the cool thing, cool bonus tip here, is that you only need to do it for 15 minutes. And if you just do it for 15 minutes in the morning, you will have made more progress on it than trying to find time in the afternoon. Because tip number 2 is you must make time because you can't find time. What the heck? It's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. Time is not hidden under the bed with your ab rocker that you bought on infomercial 20 years ago. It's not hiding all over the house. You don't find time. It's not collecting dust somewhere. Instead, if you want to be successful, you must make time for what matters. Finding time is reactive. And reactive people struggle in life. They're not successful. They're overweight. They're overworked. They're overwhelmed. And I don't want you to be like that. Instead, what we need to do is make time. Be proactive. You put it on the calendar first. And so if you put those magical 15 minutes in the morning on your calendar first, and you attack that number one priority, yes, in 15 minutes, give me a second here, you will make progress. You will have a victory. You will have a victory that leads to momentum. Momentum leads to motivation, and that leads to more activity around the right work. Here's proof. So back when I was a broke, struggling, introverted, socially anxious, binge-drinking personal trainer who didn't want to be a broke, struggling, introverted, socially anxious, binge-drinking trainer, here's what I did. I got up, and originally what I was doing was I was getting up at 10 after 5 in the morning. I had a client at 6 o'clock, and I would get up just in time to catch the bus from the west end of Toronto into downtown Toronto into this area called Rosedale where all the CEOs lived and the hockey coach of the pro hockey team in Toronto, the Maple Leafs, lived, and I would train him at 6 o'clock in the morning, all because they had to get to work. And so the thing is, I would train them all day long, and then I would train their kids in the afternoon, and then they would come back in after work, the CEOs that didn't come in the morning, and I'd be there till 7 at night, and I'd go home and I'm going to work my online business. And it would be like sticking needles in my eyes. I couldn't keep my eyes open. And so a couple of months of doing this, I realized, okay, as much as I hate this, I have to get up a little bit earlier in the morning. And I got up a little bit earlier in the morning. I spent 15 minutes working in my online business, sending out emails, writing content, putting together sales pages, and I chipped away at it. And within 12 months, I had built a $100,000 a year online business. Fast forward, about 15 years after I had done that, and I wanted to write my first book, The Perfect Day Formula. But I was running a multi-million-dollar business. I had to lead all this team. I had meetings all day long. I had to create new content. How am I going to write a book? So I decided to write that book 15 minutes in the morning. I could crank out 500 words. 500 words, 15 minutes in the morning, 6 days a week. In 6 months, I had a 45,000 word book. So I chipped away at it 15 minutes in the morning, working on my number one priority, on something that I wouldn't do at any other time of the day. And that led to my huge breakthroughs. It allowed me to transition from one big business to another big business, leaving the fitness industry, transitioning into helping people, helping entrepreneurs specifically, get more done, make more money, and make more time for their families. So that is the next step. After you've made the 15 minutes in the morning, you have to make the time for what matters the most because you will never find time. The third thing that you need to do is plan the night before. If you are doing your to-do list in the morning, you're already too late, way too late. You're using that time of day when you have the greatest discipline, willpower, and intention. And if you are using your best time of the day to plan the day, it's a total mismatch of your energy and your activity. And when you have a mismatch in the energy and activity, the misalignment, you're going to have more stress, less success. We need to line things up so you have more success and less stress. That's what we need to do there. So by planning the night before in this 3-step process, you're going to be crazy effective. And it goes like this. First thing you need to do is a brain dump. A brain dump is a powerful exercise that goes and gets everything out of your head, okay? So scrap piece of paper or using my perfect day scripting pads, whatever it is, and you just write down all the things running through your head. You might have like 18 things you want to do tomorrow. Great, you gotta, write that sales presentation. You need to call John from the office. You need to have a Zoom with Mary. You need to pick up the kids. You need to go and get milk. You need to do your workout. You need to do X, Y, and Z and ABC. You just get it all out of your head. And then what you do after step number 1 is you go to step number 2 and you make a priority to-do list. Priority to-do list. So of those 18 things, one thing has to be the most important for your magic time in the morning. One thing. So what is that one thing that's probably going to drum up business and move you ahead in life? You pick that one thing, you put it in number 1 spot. Then something else is going to be number 2. And then something else is going to be number 3. Those are going to be your most important tasks so that in the morning you can wake up and GSD on your MIT ASAP, and that's how you're going to get ahead. Now, of course, you're going to have to put on all the errands and picking kids up at school and all of that stuff. You have to do those things. But there's also some things that are going to get cut from the process. And it's just like either A, I just can't do that. I can't even think about doing it. I just have to eliminate it. Or B, I can't do it. Someone else has to do it and you delegate it. Or you just have to move it to another day. Then the third step of this plan after you do the brain dump, the priority to-do list, is what I call process planning, which is to make the path smooth for success. And I got this tip from Chip and Dan Heath in their book Switch, which is all about habit change. And they gave this example that if somebody wanted to take up the habit of exercise in the morning, but was not a regular exerciser, and they woke up in the morning and they hadn't gotten their workout clothes out and they didn't know what they were going to do for their workout on their Peloton or whatever, they'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do, and it's so cozy in my bed, I'm not going to get up. But the people who laid out their exercise clothes right there, or, provided they're clean, slept in their exercise clothes sometimes, got up, immediately went over, had their workout planned, and got into it, there's a whole lot less resistance, right? And it's the same with your work. If you want to write a book chapter, as I found out the hard way, and you go and open up your computer and there's a blank screen there, you'll be like, I don't know what to write for chapter 2. I have no idea. And so you sit there, or one day when I didn't have my processes in place, I actually ended up cleaning the house because I was procrastinating. And I hate cleaning. I don't even know how to clean. I don't even know how to turn a broom on. But what I did was then I took that painful lesson and I decided to say, I see what I need to do. I need to make the path smoother. So the night before, when I put down write chapter 2 for my book as my number 1 priority, what I would do is I would put in 5 bullet points. I got to write about this, this, and this. So now instead of 1,500 words on a blank screen, it was 300 words for 5 bullet points. And not only that, but subconsciously my mind worked on that problem overnight. So when I woke up, the words poured out of me. And some days when I had more than 15 minutes to write, I could write 1,500 words in 45 minutes. That's an entire chapter. And I made big leaps and bounds. And it works for sales presentations, it works for sales copy, it works for preparing for meetings, all of these things. So everybody has something they can do early in the morning to get ahead in life, even when no one else is up. So that's the next thing that you have to do. You have to prepare the night before. Now you've noticed we've added a bunch of stuff to your morning, but the key is that we subtract a lot more things. So we're going to destroy distractions and remove temptations and get rid of that perverse form of procrastination that is your long morning routine right now. Yes, I believe in meditation. I do meditation daily, but only after I've done the work. And yes, I exercise regularly. And yes, I read. And yes, I do a lot of self-care that sets me up for success, but only after the frog has been eaten. So after I wipe that juicy frog off my face, then I do the meditation as a reward for doing the work. Now, if you are struggling to get stuff done in the morning because, oh my goodness, you have all those notifications on your phone, you got to go check them out, or you're wondering what happened on Instagram, or you want to see who won the sports game last night, or that you have a whole bunch of junk sitting around on your desk and it's tempting you to procrastinate, you need to destroy all of those distractions. So you put your phone in airplane mode, you turn the notifications off, you sit at your desk and you do this little rotation and you go, anything within arm's length is like a bomb that could go off and destroy your productivity. So you move all of those things. Because think about it, go all the way back to college or high school and remember you had to hand in a paper on a certain date. Now, the thing is, you probably waited till about 9 p.m. the night before to start working on it. But what if, instead of being distracted by all of those things that made you delay things, what if you were actually just put in a room and said, you got to go and finish this right now, and there's nothing else in the room but pen and paper, computer that only allowed you to open up a Word document? Well, yeah, you'd fiddle around for a bit, but eventually you would sit there and you would get it done. And that's what we need to do in the morning, is put together an environment free of distractions, tossing the temptations, so that you can easily get into the work mode. You've done the preparation the night before, there's nothing to distract you, and you get in there and you do it. And that's how you're going to move ahead. So get rid of all of that stuff that stops you. And that makes success automatic. You don't have to become super disciplined and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and do an ice bath and then some Wim Hof breathing and all of that stuff. You don't need to be the next Jocko Willink or Navy SEAL or whoever it is that you think is the icon of discipline. You just need to destroy the distractions, and that makes you automatically disciplined. Which then leads me into the final point, the fifth thing that I want to teach you about morning routines. And it goes like this. What you're going to do for the next 21 days is you're going to have accountability. Accountability is a secret ingredient to success. If you have accountability that you have to wake up in the morning, do your work, avoid your temptations and distractions, and make time for what matters, and then after all of that's done, at about noon or at the end of the day, you have to check in with somebody that you don't want to disappoint and say, did I get up at whatever time in the morning and not hit snooze? If not, why not? And you have to explain why you were lazy or weak. And then, did I work on my number one priority for at least 15 minutes? If not, why not? And if you didn't, you have to explain your excuse. And then, number 3, did I shut my phone off, or did I prepare tonight before 6 p.m. so I could be present with my family? If not, why not? Well, then you got to explain your excuse. Well, if you have those 3 key questions, we call them in my coaching business the daily 3. If you have those and you stay accountable to somebody you deeply do not want to disappoint. A lot of my clients say, Craig, I don't ever want to disappoint you, so I'm going to check in every day and I'm going to get this stuff done. And they triple their productivity and their income goes up and their stress goes down. So if you have that, either to like your big brother, your mentor, your coach, someone in your business, if you do that, you have that accountability. It's going to help you move mountains in your mornings in the next 21 days. I encourage you to keep it going for life, because it's what has set me free and taken me to the next level, is having accountability to a coach or a mentor that I deeply do not want to disappoint. So when you put those 5 things together, they're complete opposite of what everybody else teaches in morning routines. But everybody else is frustrated. I get all of these people coming in who have been chasing miracles in the morning saying, I've been up for 90 minutes and I'm so stressed out because I've got nothing done and I've got a busy day today. I've been doing this for 5 years and not actually improved my finances. Well, if that is anything like you, it's time to change. So for the next 21 days, flip the script on its head. Take the old farmer's morning routine challenge. Take advantage of those things and have success. What I want you to do next is send me a message on Instagram at @RealCraigBallantyne about how this helped, or drop it in the comments below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then go and visit CraigBallantyne.com to learn more about working with me. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.